Alrighty, guys. Alrighty. How is everyone doing? I hope you are well. We are back again. I'm excited to just get back on the charts really and really just break down what I think the market is doing. Yeah, it was a great end to the week last week, and I just I'm hopeful that today we're going to see some really good price action that's going to help us make some good decisions and ultimately get us going in the right direction. All right, so let's see where we are, and let's see if we can get moving. I hope I'm coming through okay. Am I coming up? Yes, I am coming up. Lovely. All right, cool. So let's break this thing down, guys. Let's have a look at this. Let's have a look at price action. Again, my whole routine here is about developing a bias. I want to develop a bias. I want to be able to enter the market with a clear bias. And so what I want to do here is do a top-down analysis in preparation for the New York session where I'm looking to trade between 12 and 3. That's my time frame now. It is non-farm week. So if we go back to today, we've got news at 3 p.m. So ISM manufacturing PMI doesn't really shake me too much. So I'm just going to take it as a normal technical day. But ideally, we want to be looking for something after 3. Around 4, if anything, or before, nice and early, right around that technical time of 1 to 3 p.m. I think that'll be good. So let's dig into this top-down analysis. What do I think price is doing? What I think it's been doing? Where I think it's potentially going, and what can we potentially achieve from this market? Okay, let's go monthly time frame. So the first thing I'm going to look at is last month. As you can see, last month ended with us taking liquidity. GBPUSD took liquidity of this previous month high, which if you go further back, it's actually the 6th month high. So that's the 6th month high and even the 12-month high, the yearly high, last year's high, 2025's high was taken out by this move over here. So ultimately the question is, are we going to continue breaking through these highs to get to the next high? Or will we see price keep pressing through for the rest of the year? Will we see the market push that way? We don't know. Only time will tell. I envisage that price will slowly start to push to the upside, not for any reason, just for the fact that I just can't see price going lower. It could. We've been going lower over the years. To be fair, if you look back at 2007, you can see that price has been falling. Is this the beginning of price maybe pushing back that way for a period of time before we see continuation, before we see the market move back down again? Or is this just the new normal? Are we going to see price get back to these levels we haven't seen since 2007? All right, so that's something to look out for. Okay, but saying that, what we can say is that on the 12-month, we can clearly see that last year's high has been taken. Okay, now that's a big deal for me, because ultimately when price comes in and takes this high over here, right, we tend not to want to trade against it. We don't want to trade against liquidity. So here's a great rule for you to understand. If price has taken this high, I don't necessarily want to trade against this high. So automatically, I'm already thinking I want to be moving bearish here, simply because liquidity of the previous high has been taken. For example, right here, if you look at the previous 2-year, 2024, when price takes this high, generally speaking, when this candle takes this high, right, you expect price. There would have most likely been some type of pullback here until price showed that it was ready to break through, right? So the concept essentially is that I don't want to buy against buy side liquidity. All right, don't want to buy against buy side liquidity. So I'm chilling here, first thing I'm noticing that buy side liquidity has been taken. We're going to call it, we're going to say buy side liquidity. That's going to put BSL has been taken, right? And maybe put something in there as well. So that's my thought process straight away, buy side liquidity. So I'm asking, so because it's been taken, I can ask the question. Does price want to do that? Or does price want to continue doing that? That's it. My job is to determine whether price will continue higher or whether price will reverse for today. But I'm first establishing that over a 12-month period, we can see that this high, which would have held a lot of liquidity, has been taken, okay? So automatically, we have to acknowledge that sellers have come into the market, rightly so, from this point over here, okay? So sellers in the market. Now, if we drop to the monthly now, we have a better understanding of this monthly level. This monthly level is not just a structural level, it's a 12-month high. Sellers came into the market. However, you can see today, the price hasn't really done anything spectacular, hasn't pushed aggressively up, hasn't pushed aggressively down. So my natural thought process is because we're already moving from this selling position down, I believe the weight is with the bears until the bulls give me some strong structural break, especially because we've taken liquidity. Buy side liquidity taken. I am not going to jump to buy straight away. I'm not going to do that. Because buy side liquidity has been taken, I'm not going to jump to buy, right? I'm going to be investigating the sellers first, the bears. And if the bears prove to be weak, I'm going to wait to see who moves their hand first, whether the bulls show their hand or whether the bears show their hand, all right? So at this moment on the monthly, I'm saying bearish, and we're just going to hold just because, right? There's nothing showing on the monthly at the moment. The monthly candle is showing a bullish candle for today. In fact, what we should do, we should judge this candle for what it is. The market has gapped up, so it didn't open side to side, and it's already tested the lows. So based on the candle formation, yes, we were bearish from last month, but this is a new month, right? So sellers came in real strong over here, but sellers in its attempt, if you look at the candle opening, the way the candle's open, so you look up, candle opens here, right? And the attempt for the sellers to continue lower has been met with strong defense. How do I know? Because the market has put in a low right here, boom. So the bulls essentially have said, no, we're not letting you in. And all I've done there is just looked at my candle formation. I've looked at my candle formation. And that essentially is showing me that price action gapped. The bulls came in with a gap, so it didn't start side to side. There's a gap. Then secondly, the bears tried to continue that momentum. So here's the momentum. Here's the defense. Boom, rejection. We got a wick because price has rejected. Okay. And therefore, the bulls have come into the market. And then we've got another rejection over here. It's quite interesting. But ultimately, sellers are trying again, but ultimately we can see that the market at the moment favors, based on the candle formation, that at the moment the market favors the bulls for this month. Doesn't mean it's going to break through. We're not saying, we're just trying to establish a bias. So for me, my monthly, based on that logic, I'm going to say bullish. And what I'm going to use is the gap up. That's my signature. And candle formation, right? These are my reasonings for why I've chosen to say the monthly looks bull. Okay, doesn't mean we are going to buy. It's just I'm just trying to establish a higher time frame perspective to then see if I can break it down. We could see in the New York session, we could see price completely go this way and continue the momentum. I'm just trying to establish what we have for now. Okay, if we go to the weekly's kind of giving us the same type of feeling. Strong selling coming into the market. Do not be mistaken by the color of the candle. This is a bearish week. This is a bearish week. You can see small bullish body, strong wick rejection. The sellers came in strong for this week, last week, and you can see that that was bearish, very, very strong. But today we can see the gap up again. We can see sellers trying to move the market down, but facing strong defense from the bulls, and prices therefore pushed higher to this point, although we're seeing a little bit more selling pressure, but not enough to shift the weight of price action at the moment. So for me, the weekly, what I'm going to say is the weekly is bullish for me right now, just based on the candle formation alone. Doesn't mean we're gonna buy. We're still developing the context of the market. But what I would also say, but be aware of sellers coming back in strong for New York because of last week selling pressure. All right. So basically, we're saying at the moment it looks bullish, but we're also saying it doesn't mean we are going to buy it, because the sellers could, London could push up, and New York could just go, thank you very much. So we're not committing to anywhere yet. We're still developing the story. Okay. Weekly, daily. All right. So now if we go to the daily time frame. In fact, sorry, let's go to the 2-day. Go for the 2-day. Okay. And the 2-day. Interesting now. If we remove, so where we've said price is getting that, we can see that from last week, right? Price hit this high over here, and then sellers just started to come in. Boom. We put in a high over here and a lower high. Market dropped. Couldn't take the liquidity. Today, Monday, 2nd of Feb, we can see that price liquidity has been taken right here. And the signature here is telling me that sellers tried to push this market down, but it was met with a strong level of defense in this 2-day FVG. So here's what we're saying. For today, for this week, we have taken out sell-side liquidity. Start again. Sell-side liquidity taken, right, on the 2-day. And we've done it into a signature FVG. So what we have here is we can put up here bullish. Now the bullishness is starting to show itself, right? Bullish, because we've taken sell-side liquidity plus FVG, 2-day FVG tapped. Beautiful. So at the moment, my bullish bias is coming to, the story's developing, essentially. I'm still not committing yet, but my higher time frame story is coming together, okay? So we go to the daily. Okay, the daily, what we can take from the daily, again, is sell-side liquidity. Here we go again. The market's taking liquidity. We can say sell-side liquidity plus, right? Liquidity taken. So again, what this is telling me is that the market initially did not open side to side, gapped up. Sellers tried to continue this move lower from last week, hit strong support. That FVG, ladies and gentlemen, is support. You know, you could call it FVG, you can call it whatever you want to call it, imbalance. It's the same thing in the sense that price is finding a level to reject from. So, you know, when people say, you know, I trade FVGs and I trade this, yeah, I get it. It is an FVG, it's a fair value gap, but ultimately, price is finding support. That's price is just, so the retail terms, we use these terms. I use it interchangeably. I say FVG, but I mean support. I found an area of support that prices hit and is rejecting, right? And that's an area of support. So for me, that 2-day FVG, for those of you that use support and resistance, the difference here is that we're not calling that support area a line, but we're rather referring to it as a zone. When you become more zonal in your thinking, with trading, you'll start to realize that actually you take the shackles off and you can be a bit more flexible in how you approach the market. Okay, so 2-day FEG support, prices hit that. Again, what am I saying here? I'm saying I don't want to sell. I do not want to sell against sell side liquidity. I don't want to sell against sell side liquidity. That's it. I don't want to sell against sell side liquidity. So for me, this is already telling me, based on my higher time frame, that price has the potential, the probability to continue higher. Where am I looking for? I'm looking for this. There we go. From this low, we found support in this 2-day FEG, right? So this gray box represents the 2-day FEG. Price has found support and has shot up. Now, there's no guarantee that price is going to keep going higher. But for now, I'm saying, for now, this looks potentially bullish. Now, if the middle time frame can give me the necessary things to show me continuation, because remember, I'm looking for New York session trading. So maybe London has pushed higher, but that doesn't mean New York's going to push higher. But at least I can see where we are in terms of what side of liquidity I'm trading, okay? If we go to the 4-hour, perfect. So look at this now, guys. What this is telling me is that price took out the previous day. This was the sell side liquidity. Let's put here previous day low. Okay, previous day low has been taken. Price found support, but in its support, we've put in a structural point over here. Right, we then engulfed this area over here. So hold on, let's, did I write this down on here? Did I put it down? Let's bring this into focus so that we can work here. Daily, we can say previous day low. So we're gonna say bullish. Why? TDL taken. Sell side liquidity, okay? Now on the 4-hour, here's where I want price to give me good signatures, right? We have an engulfing pattern. So I'm going to say at the moment, bullish at the moment, right? As we speak, at the moment, I'm looking at a potential bullish trade for New York because I can see a bullish engulfing pattern, okay? Perfect. And not just that, plus swing low in 2-day FEG. Perfect. So 4-hour, so far, everything on my signature list is telling me we're bullish. Now, here's what I want you to think about. Yes, we have dropped into this 2-day FEG, found support, created a swing low, pushed higher, created an engulfing candle, right? So I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, here's my thought process. Price would need to, this is now a strong defensive level. Price would need to break through this defense in order to convince me, or break through this previous day low to convince me that price potentially wants to go lower. Or I would actually even go a bit further than that. It needs to, this now becomes my last defensive area, this area here. I'm saying that my thought process is that price, in tapping into this 2-day and breaking the structure, my thought process is that if I am to be a seller in this market, if I'm to be a seller, because what we're going to do here on the 1-hour, we can see, on the 1-hour, we can see we're going to get bullish again. Why? Because we can see that price has also broken structure there. All right, and we're going to call that 1-hour market structure break. Okay, so we're going to call that 1-hour market structure. So I was just having a thought process there. So here's my thought process. Everything about this chart so far screams bullish. But I also want to share that yes, we're bullish, but bullish to where? Here is this is the seller's defense. So just like the bulls have their defense, This order block represents the seller's defense. Its order block represents if price were to pull back and go, it's going to here. This is where I'm looking to either take partial profits or whether I'm looking to whatever. This is where I'm looking to get involved, okay? I'm looking to get involved from somewhere if price does it. I don't know if it's going to do. If it does that, I'm going to look to get in and I'm look to buy. I'm going to look to buy. But here's what we need to understand. The only way I'm selling this market is if price breaks beneath this low over here and closes. You take out this low, then I'm saying that the bull bias is invalid and the bears have continued their bearish trend. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying the bears have now continued to go. All it takes for me is to see a strong move here, right? That will allow me to look for opportunities to go into the low. But for now, I like the bullish idea. I'm sticking with the bullish idea. And for now, New York, I'm anticipating New York to go higher unless, when I say higher, higher into these levels, right? Looking at the price going higher into these levels and then at a good risk to reward, take some partials and then let the rest continue to ride. If it wants to, or if it wants to reverse, it can do whatever it wants. So guys, do you see what I've done there? I've developed a higher time frame bias from the top to the 1 hour to the middle time frame. And now all that's left now is to wait for a potential setup to begin to enter into the trade as and when. All right, guys, I hope this session was helpful. I hope you learned something out of my approach to the market. Again, this is just my approach. It's not financial advice. I'm not telling you where to buy, where to sell. This is just where I feel I can be active in the market. So for now, I'm inactive and I'm just waiting for price to show up. I'm a New York session trader, so I trade essentially this gray box. So when this gray box appears today, I'll be looking for setups in that particular zone. We are aware that news is at 3 p.m. today. So again, it's just waiting to see what will come forth from the news. All right, lovely. Have a good day and I'll see you on the next stream. Cheers.